What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video. We got some major news out of the great state of Florida. I thought this was a parody, but it seems real. Democratic donors are hoping to recruit NBA legends Grant Hill and Dwayne Wade to run for the Senate seat in the state of Florida. Yeah, this isn't a joke. The Democrats, I don't think they've learned from 2022 that they're going to run a sports star, I guess. Oh, man. I thought that Dr. Oz and Herschel Walker getting, embarrassed in both their circumstantial races would be enough for people to say, just because they used to be a celebrity or a sports star, it doesn't automatically mean they are unstoppable. That was a theory a couple years ago, but it doesn't seem like that's a case anymore. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below. Guys, go follow Real American Politics on Twitter. It is a great Twitter account, and I recommend you follow it. Of course, go follow the Rumble page for exclusive content. And of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you can join Real American, which is a phenomenal deal, as it helps support the daily content we all know and love. You love the daily content? Well, this is the best way to support it. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, so these are two NBA legends. Let's be real. Dwayne Wade and Grant Hill, they're pretty good players, to say the least. Dwayne Wade, yeah, that's obvious. Grant Hill, not as known as Dwayne Wade for kind of obvious reasons, but still, really good player. And they both have serious connections to the state of Florida. NBA legends Dwayne Wade and Grant Hill have rocketed to the top of recruitment list for some Democrats, looking for a strong candidate to run against Senator Rick Scott. Now, let me be clear. Even if they get one of these guys to run, I still think Rick Scott's the heavy favorite. I really don't think the sports thing has, it's lost some of its muster the past couple of years. 10 years ago, being a star from a state for football or any other sport may have been a huge boost, but now, I don't think so. Because I think with even sports now, it's getting so polarized with, with people watching sports, everything's political now. I don't think it's as helpful as it was 10, 15 years ago, outside of name recognition. Like, everybody knows who Dwayne Wade is. A lot of people know who Grant Hill is, especially in the state of Florida. Both of them played for, Wade, of course, played for Miami. Grant Hill played for Orlando for a couple of years. So, yeah, it helps with name recognition, but look at Herschel Walker. That was a race he should have won, and there was stuff that happened that was out of his control, but man, the stuff coming out about his campaign, that's not good. There have been separate active efforts to get both to consider forays in the state politics, which have not been driven by either the state or national parties, three sources familiar with the situation said. The party operatives and donors see the need for a moonshot-type candidate to reverse the trend of Republican dominance in the state. That is true. That's the only reason they're going to try to get Dwayne Wade or Grant Hill to run. It's a Hail Mary attempt. They're trying to do something to not get crushed by 15. Because Rick Scott, he's a big underperformer. He is. But if he somehow wins this race by 15 against even somebody like Dwayne Wade, nothing will. So it's screw it. Let's try him. In which most recently Governor DeSantis won re-election, obviously. Whoops, bumped the mic. Yet even they acknowledge that getting either one of them to run is a long shot. Yeah, Grant Hill, I believe he's a co-owner of the Atlanta Hawks, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not the, most knowledgeable person in the NBA. I watch every now and again, and I think Dwayne Wade, he doesn't, we'll get to this transgender stuff a little bit, but we'll get to that. Grant Hill has great name ID. He would raise a boatload of money and one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet. Fine. He will probably raise a lot of money, but Herschel Walker proved at some point that's not going to matter as much as we thought 15 years ago. Grant Hill would beat the shit out of Rick Scott, says a Democrat donor. I don't believe that. Like, I think Grant Hill or Dwayne Wade would probably do better than, some random Joe Schmo like, I don't know, Lauren Book or something like that. I think they would do better than somebody like that. But the only reason is because their name recognition is fairly good. People know who they are, and well, people have some fondness of, especially Dwayne Wade. They won what? Miami's won 3 titles with him? I could be off. I believe they've won 3 NBA championships with him. So it's more recent than Herschel Walker when he was in Georgia in the 80s. It's a little bit different because that was decades ago. This is what? 10 years ago? That's not that far away as it was for somebody like Herschel Walker. So, beyond having star power in his state, Wade has become an outspoken advocate for transgender rights. And this is something I think not going to bode too well in Florida. And what I'm telling people is, here's the thing though about a lot of these people. A lot of these, sports people that run for politics. Usually they run, as a centrist or baloney like that. Here, Dwayne Wade has a record of being fairly progressive, I guess you could call it, on transgender stuff. I mean, he has a daughter or a son that's transgender. It's a transgender model and activist. Wade's support of his daughter comes at a culture war-infused moment in time in which Republicans across the country have filed legislation taking aim at the community. Of course, they had to put that spin on it, but whatever. So, yeah, I think Dwayne Wade, he has some baggage when it comes to that, but it's not going to be like Herschel Walker where there's something coming out every other week. Here, I think it's just too progressive for the state. I really do. I mean, Florida's becoming more and more of a culturally conservative state. My family would not be accepted or feel comfortable there, Wade said on Showtime's Headliners with Rachel Nicholas last month. And so that's one of the reasons why I do not live there. So he doesn't even live in Florida right now. And we've seen how that's gone. Like, it's one thing, I know it's a bit different with Dwayne Wade because he lived there for 30 years and he moved out like 2 years ago or something like that. But still, look what happened to Dr. Oz just from, he basically lived in Pennsylvania his entire life. Well, look how the voters treated that. Now, with Dwayne Wade, similar deal. Will it be the same thing? To be determined. Dwayne Wade is a Florida legend whose leadership, past and present, has a lot of folks in our state sending feelers out, said Ray Poultry, the executive director of the Florida Alliance, a progressive donor group, whatever. We have seen former athletes in both parties bring something special to the political landscape. He hasn't been officially approached, but he is on the list of 4 or 5 dream candidates, the challenger Rick Scott. So they don't even think he's going to run. And this is the problem the Democrats have. Like, okay, he's a former star, and he probably would do slightly better than Joe Schmo. But Florida's becoming more and more Republican, and we've seen with Herschel Walker, we've seen a few others, that just because you're a sports legend, it doesn't automatically mean, like 15 years ago, you would get a boost if you were a football legend in Oklahoma or something like that. Here in Florida, if it was somebody that was was a football star, maybe like Tim Tebow, though he would run as a Republican, obviously, but if it was somebody like that, maybe, because he is culturally conservative and he plays in a sport like football. The NBA, I mean, Dwayne Wade's played for the Heat his entire career. Will that appeal to anybody really outside of, Miami? Because you got Orlando. And I wonder, I really do wonder, will that really only affect him in Miami? He'll do better there, but kind of the rest of the state's just the same? And plus with Miami, it's Republican trending, so it's like, I don't know. I really do not know the effects of Dwayne Wade potentially running. It seems like they don't even think he's going to run. This is just a Hail Mary, prayers up to somehow get one of these guys to run. Who knows, though? It could happen, but I don't think it will. But if it does happen, they may do like a couple points better. Whoop-de-doo. It's not going to reverse the trends. It may force, Rick Scott to, campaign. But outside of that, I really do not see much changing on this race. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. And of course, let me know down below, how do you guys think this will turn out if Dwayne Wade or Grant Hill decide to enter this Florida Senate race? Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.